Pakistan cabinet will be also meeting today and is likely to decide the further course of action on Nawaz Sharif. This is the latest that we are picking on. A lot happening in Pakistan as far as Nawaz Sharif is concerned, and certainly some respite for the PMLN Supremo, because let's not forget that PMLN was trying for very long to have Nawaz Sharif fly off to London for treatment, where doctors are going to take a call whether or not he should be shifted to the United States for further treatment. And this is the first step, as was confirmed earlier also by Nawaz Sharif's doctor, that had he been shifted to London a fortnight ago, his treatment would have already begun, but his condition, of course, is not looking too good. His platelet count continues to drop. He's been put on heavy steroids. He's been battling for good health since long now. And it was on Saturday that he was permitted to remove Nawaz Sharif's name from the exit control list. But it's important to note that his name remains on the exit control list. For more details, let's quickly go across to our Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik, who joins me from Islamabad at the moment. Anas, what are you picking from your sources? We're being told that Nawaz Sharif has already left for London. And since we pointed out that his name remains on the exit control list, it's important to talk about what were the procedures followed now that his name actually remains on the ECL.
Well, Akansha, Nawaz Sharif has indeed flown out of Pakistan. He continues to remain on the exit control list, but this was one-time permission that had been granted from the court, from the Lahore High Court, in context of Shehbaz Sharif moving to the court against the government's condition of putting in an indemnity bond. Now, this is a one-time permission that has been granted to former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who is critically ill, as we understand. He was granted bail on the 29th of October, and he was granted bail for about 8 months. But these 4 weeks that have been granted as permission to fly abroad, they are extendable. Now, a special air ambulance was made to fly in from Qatar to Lahore. It landed at about 8:45 a.m. Pakistan time. It stayed on the tarmac for about 2 hours, and about around 10:30 Pakistan time, it flew off. It finally flew off. There was much back and forth, but given the condition of Nawaz Sharif, we saw that the government did not resist. There was some speculations, however, that the government might just be challenging the verdict. We understand that the government did not want it to take the onus of responsibility of Nawaz Sharif going abroad, and given the fact that they have had the stakes so high and they had taken things so forward, that a U-turn on that would have essentially meant bad news for the government. So Nawaz Sharif is currently en route to Doha, and then onwards he would go to London. His sons are there who would receive him, and he will be treated in London for his disease that is yet to be diagnosed. Yes,
all right, Anas, we're also being told that the Pakistan Cabinet Committee meeting is also supposed to take place in a short while from now. What is expected to emerge out of this committee meet?
Well, I'll take you back to last week as well. The cabinet had, in principle, given permission to the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, but it was due to some conditions that he was not allowed to go abroad. So the cabinet today would be reviewing the decision by the Lahore High Court. A decision in the last meet was that if at all the court allows him to go abroad, it will not be challenged. But yesterday we saw a rant from the Pakistani Prime Minister, who visibly looked very frustrated on this decision by the courts. He, however, said that the decision to let Nawaz Sharif go abroad was based on humanitarian grounds. Having said that, he called on the courts to ensure rights for all of the prisoners, be for rich or for those who are poor. So by and large, we are expecting this review to be taken up. Imran Khan, who was on a weekend leave at his house in Banigala, he had contacted the legal team and he had asked them to review the judgment, and he had said precisely said that to explore legal options. So we're expecting that in a while from now, when the federal cabinet meets, this matter would be taken up, and a policy decision whether to challenge this verdict or not will be taken.
All right, Anas, before I let you go, it's important to put things into perspective about everything that is happening right now. Let's not forget that, for somebody who's been the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, by disbelieving his health condition, Imran Khan's government has spelled much trouble for themselves.
Well, yes, there was, as I said, there was some trouble from the Imran Khan government, but they had put the stakes so high, given the quote-unquote slogan of robust accountability and quote-unquote, as Imran Khan has been saying, that he would recover the looted assets, that he would not let anybody go abroad. We see that Imran Khan was in America, he was elsewhere as well, and all he had been talking about is recovering those quote-unquote looted assets. Now, given the stakes that were involved and things that have been taken to that point of no return, politically it was a nightmare for the Imran Khan government to allow Nawaz Sharif to go abroad without setting any conditions. Therefore, they found refuge in going to the court and in abiding by the court's decision. Now, I'll take you back to 2016 as well. A similar situation was there when the former dictator and President General Musharraf, who had dethroned Nawaz Sharif as well, the Nawaz government had been pursuing a treason case against him, and he was to go abroad for treatment. He was on the exit control list, but back then as well the stakes were so high that if the government had taken a U-turn or allowed Musharraf to go abroad without putting any conditions, it would have been bad news for them. So they took refuge in court's decision, and when the court allowed Musharraf to go abroad, the onus of responsibility of Musharraf going abroad shifted towards the court and not the government. This is the exact approach what this government had opted for, and they found refuge in the court's decision.
Right.
And now, as we speak, there might be a lot of criticism on the Imran Khan government that why did you let Nawaz Sharif go abroad? You're taking a U-turn, but they say that they are just abiding by the court's decision.
So certainly the court has had a very
judiciary.
crucial
Yes,
role to play. As you've just pointed out, the court has had a very crucial role to play. And of course, much is going to be decided as the cabinet meet takes place. Thank you so much, Anas, for bringing us all those latest details.